Put just there. Put there.
There you are. It's recording.
Closer, closer.
We go everybody in.
In that space. In that space. In that space.
Wow.
Just being really personal.
Sit right there.
We need a steward involved.
Right, you need to all go back a bit, but it's recorded. Speak all you want.
Okay, well, we were talking about the age group of the competition, weren't we? Are we going to actually specify an age group?
I think we need to, or it's going to get way too confusing.
Okay.
And there's no way of judging a competition that's being done by like loads of different age groups.
Okay.
You can't tell a difference.
You could have sections, couldn't you? But I was thinking more along the lines of health and safety, sort of rules of the competition, etc.
Well, the competition is primarily school against school,
Yeah.
not age group against age group.
So,
If you have a group of infant children, all infant children produce the same sort of picture,
yeah.
whereas young teenagers and that will produce something completely different. If you have a mix of them, then you get a proper, realistic, artistic representation at the end of it, rather than...
That might be quite interesting to see the different outputs, the different age groups, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but then if you mix them all together in one big collage, then you've got a full range of what that school is doing,
That's interesting.
rather
What
than
do you think
just
about
an
that?
age
Surely you
bracket.
couldn't do that though, because there's like 30 people in a class, and then you'd have like a few classes, and then that's over 100 people already.
Maybe
But
only
that's the
pick
whole
one
point.
class of
If
one
they're all
school.
if they're all doing their individual interpretation of what they've seen, and then grouping it all collectively to make one big school art piece.
Yeah, but it has to be seen realistically, as in like fitting in a space.
So could we limit the number of artists from each school so that they could run preliminary competitions?
It'd have to end up like being narrowed down to 5 from each class if it was like that or something.
From each class or from each school?
Maybe not everyone would want to enter, maybe only the people that want to enter would
Okay,
enter.
yeah.
Depends on the size of the artwork that you want to do. You want to have as a finished product. If you're doing a collage in the shape of an old-fashioned fishing boat, in keeping with your heritage centre, then you can make that as big as you want. It's going to be displayed in the museum itself.
It needs to be displayed in the museum, which the museum isn't that big.
No, but if you're creating a piece of artwork, say A4 size for each child, you might need 100 pieces to build that structure to the size that's required.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to end up with trying to represent an image this big with that amount of pictures. You won't have enough to do the collage. It'll lose what you're trying to.
So is the collage actually supposed to represent something in the end, or is it like everything just jammed together?
The basic idea is every child goes and sees what is in that heritage centre, then they go away and recreate that, whether it be a picture or a model or anything. And then at the end we group it all together in a collage in the shape of an old fishing boat or an old scene. So you're making the scene up of loads of different images.
Yeah.
But it works better with more images. So if you've got 100 kids doing it out of one school, then that's great.
Okay.
So at this moment in time, our company is called the Design Playground. We've got a competition which the Fishing Heritage have agreed to allow us to run. We've got 10 schools who want to participate. Each school wants to put forward a team, and then we've set them a challenge to go into the museum, to investigate the museum, to choose part of the museum to deconstruct and then reconstruct in their own creation. And then we will bring that all together to create an exhibition that will go into the Fishing Museum for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's the actual core competition.
Yeah.
So what we now need to do is create a brief, a document that will go out to those schools, which they can then respond to. So there's a clear framework that they can work within. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of know exactly where we're going with it and how we're going to actually present it to the schools. We know the schools are on board, we know the Fishing Heritage is on board. I think we're ready to go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's all go and have a coffee then.
Go on, then.
Let's go on.
From the content point of view, if you want to create a piece of art like 6 foot,
Yep.
using separate images, you're going to need round about 80 to 100 images.
Yes, of course.
Some of them are not going to be adequate. The going to fall to pieces or get damaged in the process. So you need a large amount of images to create the final piece. If you limit it to 5 per class, then you're going to have very limited images, and you're going to lose track of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. If you think of these pictures that artists do, especially photographers, where they create a giant head out of
Yeah, but you
multiple
can't do that
pictures.
with students' work, can you? Because the individual student, if their work wasn't on there, they'd be devastated, wouldn't they? If they was looking for it. And
If you can include
That's a good
every
point.
single
That's a
piece,
good
it is a
point.
good point.
Everybody needs to be involved, don't they? Feel involved.
like, it can't just be seen as a small part of, like, just overlooked as nothing.
No, but if you've only got 20 or 30 images to work with, it's going to be a very small piece of art. For a competition this size where you're getting multiple schools involved, you want something big and impressive, something for the kids to aim to.
Yeah.
It's possible that you could fit every single art piece in there in some way, shape or form. So every child is included. But failing that, you could acknowledge all the students that were involved in that picture.
I think the key, isn't it, because the objective of this is to get youngsters into the museum. So I think we've got to leave it fairly open for them to interpret in the way that they want to interpret it.
Yeah.
Is it something that you would actually enter? What would put you off? You are an illustrator, aren't you? So
Yeah, that it would look overlooked completely. So even if I put loads of effort into it, no one's going to really look at it anyway.
why not?
You're never going to watch all this video. I'm going to stop it now.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a short